Alright, we'll wait a second here. So I need to hit a few of my people so they see this. Reception should be good. Border teams, I'm tagging you for a reason. We'll see how long this video stays up. We're on our way to a new fob. What we're doing is we're giving a lot of people rope now, and they're like our families and everything. All of our families. Listen, here's the thing: is no matter what the rest of the world thinks, in the city of Tucson, you're not going to be able to convince anybody that this is some scam or this is some hoax. You're not going to be able to convince anybody, anybody that matters anyways. There's hundreds of us. I want you guys to understand something. We got prior law enforcement. We got active duty military. We got active duty law enforcement. We got active, people who work for the federal government who has badges, volunteering. We ain't got nothing to hide, that are coming out. And I want to thank our active guys who know without a doubt that we don't do that. Listen, it wouldn't make sense for my wife and I to build an entire ministry and to help over 500 individuals be extracted from the streets and move into housing and build an entire program that's a veteran suicide prevention program just to go out and create a hoax. Look, first off, we didn't need the world. First off, we didn't need this problem. This is a mission that we really didn't need, but there's something that we're not going to walk away from. Period. We're not walking away from it. Now, what we're doing is we're setting up teams. I don't know if you guys saw the earlier video or not, but when we ran out to check on some abandoned properties, we did meet with the rancher who pointed us in the coordinates where he said there's a tree out there with a bunch of women's underwear and panties and clothes and bras. Now, we understand we're taking this from this rancher. Now, our ranchers have been dead on out here. Our people that are living out here constantly having to call BP, they have been dead on, and they're supporting us. Every day we're getting another piece of property. Every day we're getting another OP to set up. And every day more people are coming down. Every day more and more supplies are coming in. And everyone that's coming down, guess what? Because of you guys, they don't have to pay for the gas. They don't have to pay for the food. And we're going to provide shelter and hygiene and everything else. And our families are going to take care of them in the event that the world, and you never know. We could be there's a lot of people coming. And this is good. This is what we want. And the people that are coming, they're the ones we want. They're the ones that seeing all this lie, all this bullshit, all this try to discredit what really happened down here and what's still happening and what we're going out there every day to do. All those people that are still here, they're still coming down, you're not going to be able to convince them of your lies. They don't care if someone's on Facebook disagreeing or saying, oh, this is true, or Lewis is a federal informant. No, I'm not. Never worked once for the federal government, ever. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Never will. Don't want the government in our program. We don't allow our government in our program. That's a lie. Lewis Arthur testified against a Marine. Once again, show anywhere where there's any piece of paper with my name attached to it for Bunny Ranch or the Oregon standoff. You won't find nothing because I didn't. Won't cooperate with the federal government. Those dumbasses laid their own nooses and they hung their own necks because they were idiots running around just, they're wanting to start a war. Well, if we're going to start a war, it's going to be against bad guys who are trafficking children, flooding our cities with methamphetamines and heroin cut with fentanyl and everything else where we got ODs going everywhere, poisoning our children. We're going to start a war with those individuals since they're able to operate with impunity down there. They can do whatever the hell they want. You realize within the past 10 years from everything that we've been pulling out, their network is taking over the entire southern half of Arizona. You might as well move the border wall up north of Tucson, in between Marana and Casa Grande. I mean, literally, you might as well do that because they have almost every wash covered. Now, we're doing a lot of good things. And we can't telegraph everything we're doing. We've got plenty of stuff. We could come out and post and show you stuff. I will tell you this. We did bring in retired law enforcement officials that are completely experts in everything. We unlocked the evidence vault, and we brought out a section that included blueprints, cash payoffs, routes, all kinds of child stuff. I mean, literally, there's a plethora of intelligence that we allowed these investigators to go through, and they flat out said somewhere along the line, police and everyone else dropped the ball. There should have been an investigation just on these 2 notebooks that we uncovered ourselves. And it is tied to a sick pedophilia ring. So we do know that a pedophilia ring was also using that camp with the coyotes and the cartels. And that is not the only underground chamber that's buried in our state. That's not. Not if everything else that we have, that we've been going and checking, has been true. Look, we're right on, and we're marking this human corridor. And we are building a blanket wall. We're building a human wall. We're actually sending people up to the top of mountains this week, and we are setting up OPs. And we've got, man, we could take care of them. We could take our drone. We got one drone that can fly like up to 8 pounds. Well, we could just fly up little supplies as they need it. They need cigarettes. They want a burger or something. Guess what? We're going to go out to you. We're going to fly it up to you. And we're going to let them see that we're constantly coming out, that we're constantly out there. Now, we popped, and we've hit 38 places now. 38 places we bounced around all over the southern. I mean, VOP's popping up everywhere. And you're going to see a bunch of little gold markers in the desert on their trails. Guess what? That means we got your trail marked. And we're going to get your trash all removed out for the people that it's happened on private property and public lands. And then you're not going to be able to go back to those trails. So they're going to start avoiding all of our markers because we're going to have our scout positions where their scout positions are. Now, we uncovered some pretty cool shit today. And we're having it fact-checked by some pretty good intelligent people. And this is going to give our border teams that are down here and Border Patrol and DHS, anyone else who wants to do their job down here, this is going to give them something that they can go on. Huge. And the reason why it's found is because people are beating the sand every day. This new phone I have should be able to go with the live videos. Now, we're headed over to our new fob right now. We already, a team came out about 4 hours ago. So they're unpacking, they're getting some stuff set up. We got 3 vehicles rolling behind us. We're bringing another 6-man crew out here. Everyone that's coming out, if you're coming down, come. We don't care. We don't care if you're militia or a church or you're for helping people that are crossing the border who need help and who are being trafficked and abused. You're for those victims. We don't care what your political ideology is. None of that shit's really allowed. When you come down, you're volunteering for a mission. And this is an official search and rescue mission. And we're looking for trafficked women and children. And that is our main focus. The border teams will take care of the dope corridors. We don't care about dope corridors. That's not the cartel's money. That's not the money for the people who traffic in kids. The people who buy these kids and rent these kids by the hour, they're very powerful, wealthy people. And they get away with it. Well, not no more. Period. Not no more. They're not going to be able to traffic children and women through our southern state when we get done. And if it takes us 3 years to build this, but guess we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. Now, our rules stand. If you're coming down and you're going to be on our security team, well, guess what? You got to be a combat veteran. You got to be a veteran. You got to be prior law enforcement or someone that's instructed to fire. Now, our new fob, it has a shooting range set out there, so we will have instructors come out. You're actually going to show that you know how to use that firearm before you get a rifle and go running around our desert. Our neighbors, I'm going to be able to go out there and tell all of our neighbors that we're doing this smart, we're doing this safe, we're doing it right. We're doing it right. We've been doing it right for almost 3 years down in Tucson. Like nonstop every day. We haven't shut down for 1 day. We have been open 24 hours, 7 days a week for almost 3 years in Tucson. It's crazy, but we've done it. And nobody's gotten paid, and anyone can go and look at our bank accounts all you want. You go ahead and see, because then you're going to be feeling a little shitty and embarrassed, because our family goes paycheck to paycheck, because almost like a huge majority of our income goes to take care of the homeless and the base and our operations, so no one has to take money. So we have really nothing to hide. We're not talking to the media for a reason. They want to fly me out to New York and put me on some news. We got to be in the desert. They don't want to come down here and volunteer for 7 days and go out in the desert with us. Now, there's some people going out there, and I'm going to tell you right now, we are not in no armed conflict with our local LEOs. I've already gone and spoken to them. I already told them what I'm doing. We can do this as private citizens. We can run whatever search and rescue we want as missionary, as long as we're not out violating laws and human rights and destroying stuff and things like that. Well, no, we can go out and do everything. Now, we have a team coming in, I believe it's Tuesday morning, so for all of our volunteers coming down, we kind of need you if you can be here Tuesday morning. We do have experts that are coming out. They're going to be training almost 50 of our volunteers on how to secure a scene in the event, which we will. We come across another rape tree, another underground bunker. These are the individuals who came out and saw the intelligence today that no one else wanted to see in the federal government. You know, and we gave them every opportunity. Well, we got a plethora, and we don't have to go show everything now. Let these guys keep talking, people. Look, as a shepherd, my job is to separate the morons from the people who are doing it right. So we want all these people to expose themselves and grab all this misinformation, all these lies, because God's going to vindicate every single lie they say about us. And they can go and attack my past about when I used to be a bad guy before I had a daughter like 10 years ago and when I was really young. But we can go all the way back to how I became a bad guy, and then I go from being the victimizer all the way back to the victim and where I came from. But we're not playing that game either. We really don't care what people think about us as individuals. All we care is that they want to come down here and they want to come and lock this down. Do not let these people just traffic our children. There's some weird stuff going on down here too. I'm starting, like, literally, there's people who are saying conspiracy theories this and Pizzagate this and all this stuff. Look, there's a lot of weird things going on, and we got a lot of stuff. Now, we do have some very good, tech-savvy, good people that know how to do research and everything. We have a great team coming down, and they're going to specifically be helping us secure our comms a little bit better, because when we go full throttle, you know, we go full throttle. You're not gonna, you're gonna see videos and try to catch them when they're on. If they come down, there are people who are filming. As I'm filming right now, there's people right now that they're uploading it live on their YouTubes. So even if it gets removed, deleted, or people start flagging it, especially if we say certain names about people who are complete sellouts and liars, I want you to tell you something. I know who you are, and I really do have sympathy for what happened to a family member of yours. But all of my phone calls are recorded, you dumbass. And you went out and said a bunch of stuff on the media today that ain't true. And you got to remember who wanted to go blow this up on social media because they got 100-something thousand followers and we got something. You got something. You stumbled onto something, Lewis. Let's go blow this up on social media. So we blew it up. You were the expert. I'm the expert on homeless camps. You're the expert on the human trafficking, child trafficking, and the coyote trafficking camps. But you weren't the only expert that came out and verified. Everyone else that came out and verified. And no detective came out in the beginning when the scene wasn't touched, and during the whole time we were crying for him, no one came out. But the minute the weapon was found in the ground, in the dirt, a knife was pulled out by one of the most, we love her, she's our family, you know, and to insinuate that she's lying or did something like that, you're messing with the wrong family. These guys fly jets. These guys fly A-10s. You know, these guys, I mean, you're messing with the wrong family. No one's lying down here. That's why we keep telling everybody come down. You don't see no one coming down. Where are you, mainstream media? You can't come out in the desert for 7 days, because we will show you every day how they're getting in here, where they're trafficking them. We will show you how just wide open this is, but you don't want that. Doesn't fit with your agenda. And you definitely don't want to go after pedophiles. You know, you guys are blasting a story about me being a sex offender. Don't you think I would have to register? And I'm not registered in my state because I'm not a sex offender. You know, you can't go out with the truth, because the truth is so, yeah, it's scary for some things, but you know what? It pisses me off, and it pisses a lot of our families off, because the truth involves everyone sticking their head in the sand. America already knows they're trafficking dope, they're trafficking human, and they're trafficking children across the border. Even the naysayers who say that wasn't a child sex camp will still go, and you can go to Border Patrol reports, FBI reports, DOJ reports, human trafficking, DHS. You can go to all these reports. And yes, this trafficking is occurring. So if the government's telling you it's occurring, and we're down here showing you where it's happening, and we're going out there, but we're liars? Well, if we're lying, then the government's lying. I mean, you can't have it both ways. But now the government's coming out and saying there wasn't a sex camp. There's no indication of human trafficking. You guys remember that conversation we had with TPD. You guys remember when I was sitting right next to him and we were talking about that particular pervert who built that camp because he likes to shoot child porn. And I'm going to still keep saying it. And I don't care if the video comes down because, once again, we haven't forgot about you. You heard the lieutenant say that they had built it for homeless people and they had a heart for migrants who were crossing over and they helped them. So the lieutenant says this is what their story was when they changed it again. They built it for homeless people and they had a heart for migrants who were crossing over the border. Yet the investigators and everyone else go out there and they come back and they say there's no evidence of human trafficking. When the individual who's building the second underground bunker and their family said, we have a heart for migrants that are crossing the border. They were in bed with the cartels. That's cartel land. That's CMEX property. That is freaking cartel land down there. We can show you dozens of corridors where they're all feeding up into that, but that's okay. We're going to be producing maps. We're going to be releasing blueprints. We're going to slowly trickle out the truth so there's a feeding frenzy. So then more naysayers come out, but then more people are sitting back waiting to look. Like I had people that are calling me like, well, what's going on with the media? You know, look, if you're taking a hold back and you don't have no faith in God, then I don't need you down here. We need people down here who know in their hearts, if God's calling you to come down here, come down here. We've got thousands in Tucson. No matter what they say across the world about VOP, too bad. We've been toiling this soil in our city for almost 3 years. We have saved children. Multiple, like dozens of children. I'm not kidding. You can go back. We have pulled families off. We have separated children from the perverts who were molesting them. We have done this nonstop every day. And now we're expanding. Now we're heading out to 22 acres. 22. It's a powerful number that God provided. This fob is dead. All right. We are going through an area out, so there will be some dead spots. Remember, we're going out to where they are. We're going after where they are. We are chasing these sons of bitches out of our city. You know, there's a blanket. And listen, our homeless are on watch. Our homeless all across the city are on watch. And if you think for a second they ain't gonna let VOP know that there's bad guys crossing through their camps, our city is going to be secured. We're going out to where they're coming from. We're going out to where they're going, but we're going to get right in the middle. And we're going to build a wall and we're going to stack those sons of bitches up. Forgive me, but I don't care if you guys like my language. This is who I am. We're going to stack them up. We're going to stack them up on the ranchers who are helping them cross over. Oh yeah, just so you know, there are ranchers down here. There are a lot of good ranchers, and some of their neighbors are dirtbags. Man, we're up here. All right. Some of their neighbors are dirtbags. Some of their neighbors are enabling. Well, guess what? Some of you ranchers down here with these big 300-acre properties, we're stacking up on the north side of your border. And all those people you're letting coming through, guess what? You better get resources for them. And once they start bursting out everywhere, guess who's going to be sitting there? Not VOP, Border Patrol, border teams. They're going to be out there because we have some very good capabilities. We're blessed. And, you know, we got a quad donated today, you know, that we're able to run around. We got ranchers we got dozens. If you know how to ride horses, if you got horses and you want to come out, look, we need horses. There are so many trails to go through. And there's like hundreds of pictures on my phone from all of you guys, like all of my staff and all my volunteers. I love you guys, you know, and there's so many of you new ones that came out and the ones that went home today, you know, I mean, you beat feet for almost a week and we love you to death, and you go enjoy your break and you come back. And look, we had like so much coming in fuel cars, and these guys are so humble. It's like, look guys, here, take this car. The world wants you. Don't pay for your gas. No, I already filled it up. Leave it for the next guy that's coming. That's the way these guys are, man. You know, the greatest thing about this for our family is to see the trickle down effect for all of our homeless and homeless veterans at Bravo Base. To see that, you know what, as long as Alpha has what we need and our teams have what we need, all this stuff gets to go down to you guys. And guess what? If you run out of gas for your generators because you guys are like going through a 2-3 day hard spell, well, we're going to send you what you need. The world is sending all this stuff. You're not going to be able to say we're scamming. There's not a single thing. You come to my house, go ahead. You can come see. You can come see. We are preppers, but we live very simple. Very simple. We can pack all of our stuff on a small U-Haul and move. We're not wealthy. We're blessed. We're not wealthy in money sense, but in families and in churches and in businesses and in our active duty military and in the veteran community. They know. Did you where'd you go, east or west?
Turn left.
All right, go down straight here for a minute. But anyways, people are trying to say, oh, Lewis isn't a veteran. Yeah, I'm not. Never was. But you know what? Got over 200 veteran suicide crisis interventions successful under my belt. Have helped house hundreds of veterans, pulled them off the streets. You can come to Bravo Base and you'll talk to small Vietnam vets will tell you my stubborn ass slept under a bridge with them for 2 weeks, bragging about how big my camp was just to get their ass out of those deserts. And they're still there. And they're going on in the homes. And they're doing great things. So we went from raising the flag and protesting to putting boots on the ground and actually being a solution. And hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people are helped. Over 10,000 have been provided food, hygiene, water, shelter. If you were to combine it all, yeah, because we feed everyone every day. They come in droves. They know we don't keep nothing for ourselves. Our families, our church, we spend our money. We tithe in material support. No one can go and look at any of our bank accounts and say that we've stolen anything. So go ahead, look it up. All we do is spend. All we do is invest in people who are trying to get a second chance. You know what? They're good investments. Because we don't need 5-6 cars and a nice big mansion and boats and all this stuff. We don't need a big fancy church with a $10,000. No, our church is out here on the streets because you know why? God's out here. He's out here moving through, guiding us through this desert. He's out here showing us where to go. He's making stuff happen every day. Thank you. Every day. I'm telling you. If you can't feel that, if you feel that, come down here because you'll feel it out here. He's making it. And you know what? Every time it happens, some of these guys will sit there and say, man, that's just crazy. Who'd have thought? It's like, man, we had a blown tire right there and then boom, stash. I mean, how does that happen? And there's other things that's happened, like, the searchers that are walking through. And then suddenly, like, they're sitting there thinking they have this feeling. They'll just throw a little prayer up. Man, which way do I go, God? Then they go over there. They go to the left and boom, coyote trail. Boom, black jugs, fresh shoes, fresh packs, going all the way up. We got a bunch of pictures coming in, but what we're going to stick with doing is going with the live videos as we go out. We're going to be posting the location of this FOB publicly on Monday, but all volunteers, you still have to go through Bravo Base. I want you guys to go and understand when you're coming out here in our city and our neighbors, they know us. They know VOP. They know us. We do good things. We've done good things for 2.5 years, but now all of a sudden we're the bad guys. Now all of a sudden we're making all this shit up to the news media and certain investigators and okay, whatever. You guys come down. Come on down. Because I know the good Lord's going to take care of you. I see the blessings coming in. And as long as I see bodies coming down, as long as I see the supplies and all our needs being met, and as long as we keep going out and closing and closing and closing, look, this is going to be an exciting week. We're going to be busting tail in the hot sun trying to get up shade, building this FOB, getting it set up. But this is going to be a very exciting week for us. Because now we get to go squeeze, and we'll let the media continue to have their frenzy and make it about Lewis Arthur and not children, and make it about Lewis Arthur used to be a bad guy. Used to be is the key word. Used to be. And who better for God to use than someone who used to walk with the devil himself? Who better to go out there and sniff that son of a bitch out? Because I know what evil is. I never lied about my past or hid my past. I've always told everybody. But I was a product of the system, and I was medicated with every type of drug you can imagine from the age of 6. You want to go into my childhood and what I went through and how I became a bad guy? Go ahead and open that Pandora's box. Go ahead. But everything that I used to be angry about and all the bad mistakes I made, all the skills and all the knowledge and it's just everything God that I was blessed with that was used for bad, it's amazing how it's been twisted and it's been flipped around. And it's all going for good. And how all these people are being helped. And you know what? I wake up in the morning and I feel good about myself. I don't know about some of you guys out there. But if all you got to do is spew hate about Lewis Arthur, you need to go get a life. You really do. Because Lewis Arthur was nobody until we found a child sex camp. And then in the beginning it was, oh crap, what's going on? This is crazy. Why isn't the government coming? But then when they come on the 6th day and conclude that all this was fake and they left us out there for 6 days, then they want to start sharing everything the government and the media is saying. But they weren't sharing the stuff in the beginning when the media was coming out and the experts were coming out and saying this is a sex camp. They weren't sharing the pictures and the videos and the testimonies of the hundreds of families we got to show that camp before the government could tear it down. And now we planted an adult male skull in the desert. Look, if you really think we were doing that and that was happening, don't you think the government would have come and shut us down and arrested us by now? Don't you really think if if it's proof and we're just making all this up, this is all fake, where's your proof? We're giving you a chance to prove your side. Come down, volunteer for 7 days if you're in the media. But we are not in no standoff. We're not going to be in an armed standoff. You know what? Our local authorities, not the top guys, not the people that are sitting in their offices. I'm talking the boots on the ground, our beat cops, our firefighters, our agents, our people that are on the ground. Those guys, we're working with them. We communicate with them. We really communicate with them. We've had a couple sit-downs. We've been talking with our guys to let them know that we've separated. Okay, we separated the good from the bad. Your bosses are bad. Your bosses are bad. You can't do your job. Okay? You're being told just to get this out. And if you think for a second CMX actually allowed a real cadaver dog to go out there, you know, I'm still waiting for the footage and the credentials and everything else from TPD. But that's neither here nor there. Now, I do have a few minutes before we get out there. You know where you're going?
Yeah.